Fromm's book, The Art of Loving, offers alternatives to a lot of common misconceptions about love. And I'm going to go through part of Erich Fromm's book. The section is called The Theory of Love, and this section offers a really simple and straightforward definition of Fromm's definition of love. Love is an activity, not a passive effect. It is a standing in, not a falling for. In the most general way, the active character of love can be described as stating that love is primarily giving, not receiving. So a lot of people would say that love is about being loved or having love, and Fromm really tries to offer different ideas to conflict that, because a lot of people's common definitions of love don't really work, considering the high divorce rate and a lot of relationships that could be deemed superficial or not in touch with the reality of the individuals involved. So Fromm has 4 characteristics that he defines as being basic to love. He says, beyond the element of giving, the active character of love becomes evident in the fact that it always implies certain basic elements common to all forms of love. These are care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge. So I'm going to go through those in order. Fromm says about care. Love is the active concern for the life and the growth of that which we love. So care is an element of love because, another quote, where this active concern is lacking, there is no love. Fromm talks about how the care part of love is really evident in a motherly type of love, but it's not just in that subcategory of love. It's care is obviously involved in all kinds, because caring and loving can almost be terms synonymous in certain contexts. And he continues to say, one loves that for which one labors, and one labors for that which one loves. So if you love someone, a friend or a significant other or a parent, anything, then you care about them and you're willing to work for them. You care about their growth. And care and concern, this is another direct quote, care and concern imply another aspect of love, that of responsibility. Today, responsibility is often meant to denote duty, something imposed upon one from the outside. But responsibility in its true sense is an entirely voluntary act. It is my response to the needs, expressed or unexpressed, of another human being. To be responsible means to be able and ready to respond. So this struck me as really interesting, because considering responsible it denotes, responsibility, like something that you have to do, generally with the connotation of something you don't actually want to do. But in this definition of responsibility, it can be almost sort of being responsive, being active and engaged and involved. And I'm going to go to the third characteristic that Fromm defines, which is responsibility. I just did responsibility. Responsibility to respect. Respect is not fear and awe. It denotes, in accordance with the root of the word, respicere, to look at, the ability to see a person as he is, to be aware of his unique individuality. Respect means the concern that the other person should grow and unfold as he is. Respect, thus, implies the absence of exploitation. And this is in a further paragraph. To respect a person is not possible without knowing him. Care and responsibility would be blind if they were not guided by knowledge. Knowledge would be empty if it were not motivated by concern. And this is going into the 4th characteristic, which is knowledge. So we've already gone through care, responsibility, and respect. When you love someone, you care for them and their growth and well-being. You consider yourself responsible for them, but responsible in the sense that you are ready to respond to them. You respect them, and in concordance with respect, there is knowledge. And I read part of that. So Fromm's definition of knowledge is a lot different from a lot of common definitions of knowledge, in that it's easy to know something, like to memorize facts for a test, without having any opinion about it yourself or having any real response to the knowledge. It's shown even in neuroscience, in the way that when you just learn something, like for a test, when you memorize something in the short term, there's no change to the way that your brain works. But when you really learn something, it actually changes the structure of your brain. It makes you different because you know something that you didn't before. And Fromm's definition of knowledge really is more involved with the second type of knowledge, that you know somebody and you don't only know things about them, but you understand. And so this is another quote from The Art of Loving, and it is, "Care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge are mutually interdependent. They are a syndrome of attitudes which are to be found in the mature person, that is, in the person who develops his own powers productively, who only wants to have that which he has worked for, who has given up narcissistic dreams of omniscience and omnipotence, who has acquired humility based on the inner strength, which only genuine productive activity can give." So Fromm's definition of love is really based on these 4 characteristics which are interconnected and mutually central to the definition of productive love, which is what Fromm tries to define and explain in this book.